That's
Yeah, Brendan may
yeah.
know what the fee is for Zoom.
I think it's about $15 a month or something like that.
That's all.
Brendan, Justin just brought up paying the fee for the Zoom, so we don't have to do that any longer. Maybe we should ask Dr. LaViolette. What do you think?
Do you know what the fee is, Brandon, off the top of your head?
By the way, I don't know if you found that link already, Justin, but
All right, so I'll share what I found. I mean, what I have in my notes is this thing. Let me share. And,
yeah.
you know, it's this GitHub repository.
No, that's not what.
And then associated with it is here's the simulation that was run.
Well, if you could link to it, that'd be great. Could you put a link in the chat too? But I see what you're showing there.
Yeah, so this is so that link is at the bottom of the GitHub. But you know, here's all the code and all the dependencies that you need to load in your build. So you know,
That's the ETD stepper, right?
Yeah, so that's pretty.
Yeah, I think I have that code.
You want me to give you this link or?
You might as well paste it into the chat room, just for everybody to have access. Or maybe you can chat room and also.
I can't get the chat window when I'm sharing.
Yeah, that's the easiest way to access it right now. Let's see here.
Okay. I'm trying to see where I can, maybe it's up here. I can get to the chat window. Chat.
And I'm going to go ahead and link into the chat room also the link to the
There you go.
JavaScript code. So I'm not sure if you found that or not yet, but it was posted to Facebook by David, and I'll repost it here in the chat room.
Yeah, okay, great. All right, so I'll just put that in my notes. And I gave you guys this link before to my notes.
Yeah.
So this is, here we go. Let's put this in there.
And I know there's more code because when if I remember correctly, I spoke with Matt, and I'd asked him if he still had the Mathematica stuff or any other stuff, and he didn't seem to have it with him. So I think this is what we're limited to right now.
Let's see if they have any Mathematica stuff. This won't start. I don't have a license.
What was it that you're saying that you're going to check on, Brandon? You said, no, I don't. I'll check. What is that?
I'm trying to see if I can find the Mathematica stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, actually, I think he's referring to the Zoom. Yeah, about $15 a month looks like. 12 lire for the pro version. That's about what I remember too. Could be worth it.
Yeah.
Since we're having 4 meetings a week.
A month, you mean?
A month. And we could have more meetings, depending. I think about it in dollars. About $4 a meeting.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a. I don't have it. Some stuff, sure.
Things sure would go a lot smoother, that's for sure.
Okay, so Zoom pricing, others, it's 12 pounds. That's different than dollars.
Yeah. I think Dr. LaViolette was able to make it back last time around, but we'll see. Seems to be.
So basic is yeah, it's $15. Small teams includes 100 participants, 24-hour meeting. User admin features recording, custom person ID, assigned schedule 1 GB, REST ID, Skype for business, interoperability. Yeah, it's $15 a month.
Yeah.
And business.
I guess we can ask Dr. LaViolette if he thinks it's worth it.
Well, you know, people can get it on their own too. So anybody who can.
Yeah. It just you last week he asked us if we needed any funding for anything, and so that's a possibility.
Okay. Yeah. I'll stop sharing at this point because the only thing I wanted to share was this one and the GitHub. So we have the code here. You know, you can see on the date this is July 30th. I don't know what the date is on the this code.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Matt was. And I mentioned this before, but sometimes it's easy to forget stuff. But I'm reading from his email, and he said when the white paper was written, I was only using Crank Nicholson to do the simulations in 1D, and 2D and 3D circular and spherical symmetries were imposed. But when trying to generalize Crank Nicholson to true 2D and 3D is where the hardware limitations were quickly hit. After the paper was published, I came across another numerical technique, which is a lot faster and allowed the simulations to take place in 2D and 3D. So he implemented that with the stepper, the ETD stepper.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you look at the date here, this is part done in March, and this is the JavaScript simulation online. Okay, so this was March 2014, and then you can see the date on GitHub being July. So there's a 4-month difference. So this was 4 months after.
Yeah, although the paper might have been published in 2013. I can't remember.
Yeah, so this is dated March of 2014, but the paper was 2013. So when they did the simulation online, it was probably March. So, and then a few months later, 4 months at least, this is March 1st, where that is April, it was July 30th. So that's like 5 months difference. So there's a 5-month difference between the JavaScript and the C++. So it was right, the C++ is the last stuff, based upon the dates. So that was my point. Hey, there's a lot of versatility in the C++ code. We can get our hands in it. It's free. We understand the code. Here, you have to, just look at
Yeah, I mean, I think most of us are familiar with it to some degree.
I'm not sure there's really too much. So here's the.
I've already got the ETD stepper installed on my computer, but I've got hardware limitations. But if we were to run it in 1D, it'd be different. But
so my point was we just take that code and we flip it up on an AWS instance and run it there. and then turn it off when we're done. So boss are,
I don't know if you. I'm having a hard time hearing you.
my point was that we could just take the code, put it up on an AWS instance, a large one, run it, and then turn it off when we're done. The costs aren't going to be so high. So we could try and see how it runs up in on cloud software. That way you can resize very easily by just flipping some switches, as opposed to actually buying the hardware.
Yeah, it sounds like
Do it on
David already did that.
DigitalOcean. But
Sounds like David already went out and bought the hardware. So, but I guess it all depends on. I mean, I don't really have a whole lot of time to put into programming. I'm not a natural programmer. I'll just,
I am. So I can do stuff.
yeah. So if Justin's up for that type of thing, I'd be more than happy to let him run with it. I don't know what Brendan thinks about that, and I could fool around with my version on my computer. I've already got it installed on my computer, so.
Yeah, if you guys got a build, I mean, I can just take from your lessons if you've got instructions on how to install this thing. I can just follow along. I mean, there must be instructions here. I mean, okay, you got to load all these things. Got it.
Install the ETD stepper.
Yeah. And I would try and install the latest and see if it ran. If it didn't, then I go back to the version.
Yeah, if you look at those files, there's a README file, and it gives pretty much step-by-step instructions in the README file to how to go ahead and install that.
Yeah, that's the file that we're looking at.
Yeah. But most of it's just resolving all the dependencies in.
That's the same page.
Yeah. And the way I did that was I installed a version of Linux that had all the dependencies in it, and that's how I fixed it.
Okay, so what was the version that you had that had all that stuff?
Well, I'll have to figure that out again. What was it?
Loopy's not uncommon for it to include. I'm not sure about these other things.
I think I installed it on a memory stick, so I had the whole operating system on there, so I could just plug it into my computer and go.
Okay, well, it sounds like we lost Paul. Brandon, do you want to write anything in the notes? I'm not sure what else we're going to get done. Obviously, we all have our own idea of what we want to get done, and we may say, okay, hey, I'm going to get this one thing done this week. I mean, I don't know how many of us have other jobs. I do, or other tasks or the projects that they're with.
Be sure to talk towards the microphone, Justin.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Not sure why it's having a hard time with the microphone. So I'm not sure what else we want to talk about. I wanted to hear, because Brendan threw out a whole bunch of different links over the last week, and I know other people did too, and I just sort of wanted to get a summary of what everybody was talking about. Because it's sounding very interesting, and this vertical motion is really a critical element in understanding.
Well, yeah. Well, we got two things going on now, and it'd be nice to have everybody here to discuss it. That's where, I think what you suggested was maybe just getting the pro Zoom might be a good idea, because otherwise everybody would probably still be here. But
so my goal for the next week, and it wasn't sort of this week too, although it was, but is I might run a test on that ice I was telling you about, how some of these different tools affect the formation of crystals. So I might run that, and I'm probably gonna, from the presentations that I have online, the 2 hours presentation I have online on meta level science, and I think there's an hour in regards to SubQuantum kinetics. I might put lessons learned, because these are all lessons learned from the computational sciences, which can apply to general science, in particular physics, and in particular, the motivation of why subquantum kinetics is important, and also why vortical um, behaviors are absolutely critical. So I think it's going to
What
be
did you say was absolutely critical?
vortical motion is absolutely critical in defining how the behavior of the ether works, and how particles form, and also how ether winds affects everything from health, crystal formation, you name it. So I'll probably work on that list because that's work that I've already done, and there's some things that I haven't talked about from a vortical perspective, but there's a whole slew of research. Have any of you guys seen Claude Swanson's work in regards to, he reviews all the experiments over the last 150 years. There's a good book that he put out, except for his final chapter where he threw out sort of his theories, which are not SQK. So, my opinion on that, it's all SQK from my perspective. He talks
kind of fading in and out a little bit.
Yeah, okay. So there's a very interesting book by Claude Swanson. I don't know if I'm sharing or not, but I can share this once I get it up.
All right, so Brendan said, for rotational motion, we need to solve velocity and vector calculus from a given omega. Yeah, it'd be nice that you get into that in more detail next week if you can. But
Okay,
I think ET will work great for both experiments, probably.
So here's a book that I recommend. I don't know if you can see it. The reason being is there's 12 chapters talking about life force or ether or whatever you want to call it, energy. And it's all talks about vortical motion, and particularly how vortical motion can vary. And I mentioned in the previous meeting that, it can vary in the spin doesn't have to be, discrete. It can be gradations. I also mentioned that there can be an ether flow around the vortical behavior, and then then there can be more complexity within, the vortice itself, so that you get ether around each particle, because the particle might be tight, but it's not 100% tight. There's some loose stuff happening at the end. There can also be, so there's a lot of different variations that can happen within a spin. And he talks about how spin has been looked at from energized water to magnetism to every single thing, over the last 150 years. So it's a good book. I recommend it, particularly if you're trying to understand, vortical behavior, because he talks about how vortical behavior has been observed all over the place in a lot of experiments, from the health perspective and from other perspectives. And if you put that in tune with SQK, it's a fantastic story of new physics.
Yeah, I think I've seen that covered before, but I don't think I've read the book.
It's good. That I like the first 12 chapters. There's a 13th chapter which he throws out his own multiverse view, and it's like, you don't have to make things so complex. Multiverses, and in my opinion, it's just like added computational nonsense. Totally unnecessary. If you use subquantum kinetics, everything becomes much simpler. You don't need multiple dimensions.
All right. Well, yeah, it'd be nice to. I wanted to run some things by, with Dr. LaViolette here. I had some additional thoughts myself on how that experiment that I proposed last week, if in the right conditions, say in 2D and 3D, I was thinking it's possible that vorticity could arise just from the two solitons interacting with each other. And so I'm actually pretty interested to see how things progress along that line, because I had suggested that if possible, we could actually simulate orbital behavior with 2 solitons.
Okay.
But you'd have to do that in 2D or 3D.
Right. I captured some of that, the 2 solitons in the experiments list, and then there was the other experiment list that Paul mentioned. And so those are the 2 experiments that I saw that people mentioned that they wanted to create as a starting point. Of course, you see my point is I want to get information out first, figure out how to get the information out. Because, you know, Brendan was looking at OpenFOAM. Brendan, did you make much progress on OpenFOAM?
Okay. Well, and there may be different approaches to different different problems that we're solving here. You know, all related, of course. So OpenFOAM may be better for the equations that Brendan was discussing solving. Is that what you're working on, Brendan? Is that what you got going on? Okay. Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds like Brendan's made a lot of progress. And I'll take a look at some of the stuff that has been in the links. There's a whole bunch of stuff that came out on Facebook. I've only been skimming it. I was hoping to get a chance to read through it. So I look forward to talking to you guys later. Did you have anything else you want to talk about, Michael or Brendan?
No. How about you, Brendan?
All right. Sorry you're having such a hard time with your laptop and your mic. It'd be real useful to hear you again.
Yeah. I hadn't really had a chance to take a look at a lot of documents linked to either, Brendan, but it would be really good to hear you condense that next week. Awesome.
Yeah, I may get a version of Zoom. Who knows? I've done it before with other systems, but just to try it out and see how it differs, so that we don't have to run into this issue of continually turning off.
Thanks for putting the getting the meeting going on there, Brendan. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And hanging in there. Maybe
you have a great week. Look forward to next week, and maybe I'll purchase a copy of Zoom, and we won't have to go through this issue of on and off. And Brendan, perhaps you'll put some money or something into your mic if I get the Zoom. Okay.
All right. All right.
All right. Thanks.
Well, have a great day.
All right. You too. Bye.